Hello, mamas. We have a authenticity epidemic on our hands. I would even say pandemic. This shit is worse than COVID. One of the facets about our generation, and when I say our generation, I'm on the elder side of our generation, that being Gen Z, and we're going to include Gen Alpha in this conversation today. One of the facets of our being is we are so riddled with irony, I would argue more than any other generation, that it is crippling us in so many ways. I recently came across something that has put into words what I've been feeling for so long, but we are going to be so genuinely stunted when communicating as adults based off of how we act online and how we layer ourselves like a fucking onion of irony. We use irony as like a defense mechanism to avoid being called cringe, to avoid appearing as cringe, and it's a defense mechanism in a lot of ways because of how the internet is, but it literally isolates us from genuine human connection. And all of this came to mind because I saw a post by the singer Ethel Kane. She makes, what is the name of like the genre of music she makes? She makes like, let's say folk music. Kind of, maybe that. She makes like very like solemn and serious music. But at the same time, she has a fan base that almost like rivals like the silliness and the hijinks of like the Barbs, like a Nicki Minaj fan base type beat. So she is the victim constantly of like her work never being taken seriously, and it calls her to go on this rant, which I would love to read for you. She posted on Tumblr, by the way, which I think is so awesome, and we need to bring it back. And I might reactivate my Tumblr. Anyways, she said, "Okay, honestly, this is probably such a stupid rant, but I've been thinking about it for a few weeks now. But like, nobody takes anything fucking seriously anymore. It makes me feel so crazy and annoyed because I'm constantly bombarded by jokes. It's not even just me. I see it with literally every artist across multiple genres and mediums. And listen, I love to laugh and I love funny shit, but like, we are in an irony epidemic. There is such a loss of sincerity and everything has to be a joke at all times. The number of times I have to read the same stupid shit like, yes, you ate that like Isaiah ate Ethel. I don't know what that's referencing. Over and over makes me so mad. It's not everyone, obviously, but it's such a huge portion of the people who engage with me online and in real life that it's truly inescapable. I feel like no matter what I make or what I do, it'll always get turned into a fucking joke. It's genuinely so embarrassing. I hate feeling like I'm constantly complaining, but I'm honest to God so turned off by so much of the way people engage with the shit I do and with most things in general. It's so beyond frustrating. I'm so stressed out already anticipating the stupid shit I'm going to have to see about Perverts, which is a new album coming out. LOL. It literally makes me never want to share anything again. I miss when I had like 20 fans who actually had something interesting to say in response to what I was making. I hate it here." This was so interesting. And like, let me approach this from my perspective. I do not consider myself an artist. like look at my fucking YouTube channel. Like, think if I qualify as an artist. That's not me being ironic or self-deprecative. I'm not proving my point here. I'm just saying I don't think what I make is art. I think there's like tinges sometimes when I do like a little fun like bit, but like it's incomparable to her, who's like an artist who puts her blood and soul into her music. And when I create stuff and put it online, I'm expecting a reaction where, like, I'm not being serious. So I'm not expecting it to be taken that seriously, with exception. I'll get into that later. But it must be so frustrating to be an artist with, like, a primarily, like, Gen Z audience who is putting stuff out there that's meant to be taken seriously, and it is not, like, taken seriously. She says in her rant that, like, she loves jokes, and within reason, like, I'm trying to think, like, I mean, like, our generation makes jokes out of fucking anything. Like, it could be 9/11. It could, like, there's nothing really off limits for us to make jokes about. But damn, like, it's so, I think we see it as such a weird and foreign thing when someone is like vulnerable and authentic in their art that it's like alarming. We don't really know how to react. That's why you see comments being like, all right, put the fries in the bag. There'll probably be comments on this fucking video saying like, all right, put the fries in the bag, because like instead of like taking a moment to actually process and like have a fucking internal vibe shift to like really approach something, whether it be like art, like an album or a movie or so like someone's performance, we'd rather just be like, you're fucking cringe. You're cringe. You're fucking cringe. What are you doing? Now, I know I've been just like throwing out the word authentic, so let me like define it in my terms. I think to be authentic is to just like show up as yourself, as how you act, and like at the full expense of being quote unquote cringe. And like to make something and like earnestly put your name behind it is, I fear, going to be like a thing of the past. We're too scared to just like get out there and like fucking use our legal name. By the way, I want to get into like a conversation about this later, and I'm probably gonna fucking forget. But the whole concept of like your government name being taboo is so fucking weird to me. Like so weird. And I know that's like rich coming from me, because I know you probably look at me like I'm fucking crazy. Like I'm out here doing like making videos being like trying illegal drugs with like my full government name like attached to me. But like that's an extreme case. I mean, we hide. Okay, like now this is just like you know what I'm gonna say, but like we hide behind like our screen name. Ew, the way I said that was like so fucking like 80-year-old. Our screen name. We hide behind so much shit on the internet that even it seeps over into the real world, and we're scared to actually put our face and our name behind things when we make things. Now, what does this stem from, you might wonder? It used to be like obviously I'd honestly say pre-TikTok and post-TikTok are like completely different worlds, duh. But like it used to be that if you did something cringe and like say you fucking went into your closet with like your camera and you had like a mental breakdown and went like viral on YouTube, that was like your own doing. But now we live in this world where it's like you can get recorded doing something slightly cringe and someone will post it, and you could just have your life destroyed because you're in like the background of a TikTok. Like what comes to mind was that girl who's at like IHOP or something, and she got her pancakes and she had her little fucking fork and she's like doing this little like dance. And then there's like this lady behind it, and people like, oh no, I have a better example. Forget that fucking example. The example of at the Charlie XCX concert in New York, and they had the girl that made the Apple dance was like she was like the Apple dancer of the night. This is so terminally online, so let me explain it in more detail. At the Charlie XCX concert in New York, they get one person to do a dance on the fucking Jumbotron. And there was this girl that came up behind her and kind of like stole and ruined her moment, and people like found her name and like doxed her and all this shit and like sent so much hate. And that is literally fuel in my mind. That is like everyone's worst nightmare. Everyone like under the age of 30's worst nightmare is to be that person that was like, didn't know what the fuck was going on. She just like went behind this girl doing a little dance to have a good time, and then like becomes like the like just like fucking ridiculed and is like cringe, and people are making comments about her body like because you were like behind a fucking lens for 3 seconds. I think shit like that is why we have like this fear of being cringe so ingrained in us. I saw this good quote. Where the fuck is my iPhone? Where is it? Oh, our generation is mostly concerned with fear. We are more afraid to look bad than we are concerned with looking good or doing something good. We are so scared to like put ourselves out there. Like not even in a, when I say this, I don't want you to imagine like, I don't know, like position your fucking iPhone on the table and be like, kiss me goodbye, defying gravity. Like not some shit like that, like singing in front of you. I mean like even just it like painting. Like or like any type of art or performance like that. I feel like we're so hindered from sharing it because we have this like just like default setting in our brain that like it's like, oh, don't share that. They're gonna call you cringe on the internet. But it makes me think, and maybe this is like a really pessimistic thing to say, but it makes me really feel like there's never been a worse time to like make things, whether it be like a fucking song or any kind of piece of art. I think about, when I like graduate from like making content online and like try and do something bigger, whatever the fuck that may be. I'm so scared of like when I actually make something that I want to be taken seriously, because most of my online, and listen, this is like 90% my fault and like not really applicable to the greater conversation at hand because I make such like unserious content. But even if I were to have like just a completely like standard YouTube channel and I wasn't like going to Italy and fucking staying with nuns or something, I would still be nervous to put like my blood, sweat, and tears and my name and my face behind like a project. Like say I wrote a book or say I release an album. I would be so fucking scared to put that out there because I feel like people, it's just like, it's not an automatic thing for people to take things seriously, especially, I forgot what I was going to say, but like, we even have like our own kind of like language and systems for like discrediting people putting themselves out there, and like kind of like denouncing them. Like literally like the comment I mentioned, like, all right, put the fries in the bag, or like can't let gang know, like shit like that. It's like, it's even like those sentences are like layered in so much irony, but I think they reflect like a deeper kind of like fear of being vulnerable and being authentic and just like letting people know your interests. Like it's crazy, but it's like kind of cringe to be online and like earnestly talking about your interests. This is so fucking random, but I saw Wicked and I was like, this is such a breath of fresh air. It was the least ironic movie I've ever seen, at least like in like recent creation, and it was so nice to see. It was just like they weren't like trying to like crack little jokes about like musical theater being cringe or they're like, I'm singing, why am I saying like that I thought they would do. It was just like a musical and they're like, fuck it, like, sorry, this episode's been like too like influenced by Wicked. Also, side note on like fucking Uncle's rant about Gen Z, like monthly fucking rant that I seem to do now. There used to be this thing called being like a poser, where if you were to just like pick up an aesthetic without like learning the meaning, learning the lore, learning the history of it, learning why it exists in the way that it does, you were called a poser. Like what I think of like specifically is like people that would like dress like a skater. Like this is like, I feel like the last instance of getting called out for like being a poser was like 2018 when people would like wear a fucking Thrasher hoodie from Zoomies and like have never even like touched a skateboard. Things like that, or like emo, like people like adopting emo aesthetics and like they were like a frat bro like 5 years prior. Shit like that would be like considered being a poser. But now that has kind of like gone. And you might think that's like a good thing, which in some cases it might be, that like we're more free to just like express ourselves however we want. But I think we lose a lot in not picking up like existing within the context of what, wow, she was fucking onto something. Wow, Kamala. Anyways, we have now started, it's no longer cringe. It's surprisingly no longer cringe to just like completely adopt an aesthetic or like a culture without like actually taking in why it exists like that. People just do it all the time. Like, why are you pretending like you're a poor skater? Your dad works for BlackRock, like shit like that. And listen, I've heard a lot of discourse about this, And people are saying that, like, every generation goes through this. And, like, yes, probably to an extent, but it really feels different. Like, I look at how, like, I grew up around, like, a lot of millennials, like, older cousins that were millennials, and I was, like, so interested in their culture. Like, I remember I wanted to be, like, so much older when I was young because, like, especially in, like, 2012, like, Instagram, I was like, fuck, like, y'all are living your fucking life on that thing. Like, fucking to be 25. Oh my, I was thinking about this the other day. To be like 20 to 25 years old living in New York in like 2010 to 2015 must have been fucking incredible. And maybe they didn't know it back then, and maybe I'm just romanticizing the past because I recently rewatched Girls. But what the fuck? Like, y'all had it. Y'all had everything. So I don't know. I really don't know if it's like a specific issue with our generation, but I can only imagine it's exacerbated by how we behave online and how we act on the internet. Because I don't think there was ever this much external pressure on previous generations. Like, you would have your immediate circle that could, like, call you cringe, but beyond that, there wasn't much more fear. So you could go beyond that. You could go on like the older internet pre-TikTok and like share what you wanted to make on like fucking I don't know, I never had it, but what is it called? Like MySpace and shit like that. Now we don't have that. There's like an entire fucking, like, if the pressure back then of sharing stuff was like an elephant, now it's like the planet of Uranus. Like, there's so much pressure and fear to ever share anything online. Even like the concept of like lolcows. I mean, those haven't been this is like my like special interest recently, just the concept of lolcows. But they used to be people like mainly on YouTube that would just like post themselves being cringe or like just like crashing the fuck out, and people would make fun of them based off shit that they posted. Now, our generation of lolcows is like the world of t-shirts, like Joshua Block, where they're primarily just like existing in the world and people are coming up to them. Like, obviously he's like made his own content that's like gone pretty viral, but like now he has like entire just like flocks of people following him, recording him, waiting for him to get like drunk after a bar crawl and like fucking vandalize something, or I don't even know what he does now. I try like not to even look at it. So how do we fix this? You might wonder. I have good news for you. This is one of the things that you can actually just fucking do yourself, and it will have great consequences. Good consequences. Great may sound like big, but bad. Good consequences. You can just be authentic and yourself. And at every corner, try not to like self-analyze yourself too much when you're interacting with other people, but just notice when you're being ironic out of pure self-defense and like not even for like fun comedy or like a good chuckle. Like, you're just being ironic for the sake of being ironic because you're scared. Try to like peel that away. Try to stop doing that. Try in your personal life and in the things you create being as open and close to you as possible. Now, listen, this is within reason because, okay, on the topic of like government names being something taboo, this is something that like infinitely pisses me off because I feel like we've gone too overboard with like being scared. Okay, I understand not wanting to share like your first and last name on the internet. That's fucking understandable. But not even sharing your first name on the internet pisses me off so much. There's like the official Mama's Discord, and I swear to God, like half the people have like a made up fucking name. And it's not even like a nickname. It's like, listen, you can have a nickname. You can put your like a nickname as your Discord name if that's what people call you. You can do whatever the fuck you want. Like, I don't, my light almost fell on me. I just think that it's a little weird to like, I don't feel like it's even like real interaction with other people online when I'm talking to someone. It's like their name is like fucking, it's like Ryder with a Y and an X. It's like, what's your fucking birth name? Or what do your friends call you in person? Because I know it's not like Reichster. What the fuck are you talking about? This is such a random fucking. But I do wonder. Like, is it internet safety that people are like so scared to put their name online, or is it what I just talked about? Is it the fear of being considered cringe and like putting your name behind something online? I'm not saying it's completely bad to do that. I just think it's a little fucking annoying. It's a little annoying because it's like it's a step, it's a wall in between the person you're talking to. Back to how you can combat this. Just don't hide when you care about something. Don't hide your interests, no matter how cringe they might be. It is so freeing. It is so freeing to just embrace your cringe. Just do it. Just do it. No, like, it doesn't fucking matter if you were like a puzzle piece that doesn't fit into the rest of society. And I know that's like so cliche, like, just stand out, just be yourself. But fuck, like, no, we actually need to start doing that because you motherfuckers are not being yourself. You're trying to be carbon copies of each other, and you're scared to share like even the slightest bit of like you that is real. Everything has to be wrapped in fucking 18 layers of bubble wrap irony. Also, I want to address something. I made a YouTube short. I made a YouTube short. See, that wasn't laughing. I wasn't laughing about cringe. No, I'm being authentic. Wait, let me rewind. I also want to address that, like, I'm pretty authentic on this channel, I would say. I have been I allow myself to be cringe. I'm allowing myself to be cringe in this fucking video as I just stumble over my words and can't even complete a single thought. But there's lots of times where I haven't been authentic online or genuine, and that's been on purpose. Specifically, like with like any TikTok I've ever posted. Has always been like, ugh, I've talked about this so many fucking times, I hate bringing it up again, but like, it's always like satire. Nothing in them are real on my main TikTok account. They're just like little fucking bits and skits, and I've like pretty much stopped doing them completely because I will give like dead giveaways, dead giveaways that they are not real, that they are satire, and people will still like take them at face value. So that, on the inverse, has like pushed me to be less authentic online, because I'm like, I can show you a video of the White House exploding and be like, I blew up the White House. And motherfuckers will think, they'll be like, wait, did this really happen? So, like, that makes me... that's a whole other fucking can of worms and a whole other conversation for another day. But anyways, what I want to talk about was I made a TikTok and I posted it on YouTube Shorts to you. But like, I had a can of Zyn in my fucking bag, and people were like, "What the fuck? You're addicted again? You said you want to get addicted." First of all, if I was actually, I'm not addicted, and I don't do Zyn. I'll get to that. But first of all, if I was addicted, well, that's the fucking thing. I even if I say I'm not going to get addicted, I probably still could get addicted. That's how addictions work. You don't really have control over it. Second of all, I'm not addicted to Zyn, and I don't do them. I filmed that clip back when I made the video where I was doing Zyns. And then I did this thing called It's in My Camera Roll, and then I put it in a video months later. I know that's a crazy concept, but like, and like people were fucking mad. I'm like, am I getting soft canceled right now? Like, people are like, what the fuck, is he really doing fucking Zyns? After all that, it's like, oh. I need to smoke a blunt with Ethel Kane. So this was your like monthly unk dooming. We need to like actually create a name for this. Unk dooming, dunking, demunking, doomunking. Also, drama is canceled. Reading people's drama is canceled for the foreseeable future. No comment on that. I love y'all, and I hope you have a good freaking... Well, you can comment it, but I'm not going to read them for a little bit. But you can comment them. and I'll read it for me. Have a good Thursday. Bye.
Fuck 'em all, but I